going to get a cards done this week anymore, too.
Really? You know all that, huh?
You and I are never before.
I was just going to say,
That's what she was for.
have we tried the apples
That
yet?
happens a lot.
Get used to it.
Yeah. And then when
Butter.
they say, what's wrong? Nothing.
Right.
Or, I don't want to talk about it.
Right.
Yeah, I remember those days. They still happen too. Once we get done, I'll have one.
All for the commission review.
Hello.
Hey, Bill.
Hey.
We are just about to get started here.
Real good.
As far as I know. She's waiting.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so channel
Those
papers,
are signed.
as usual.
She's sitting outside, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh, I should be talking now. So
She's watching it on YouTube. Like, okay, let's go.
Oh, I can read the card.
Oh, I better start that text.
Hi.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and
Liberty
justice for all.
and justice for all.
All right, good evening, everyone. First up is additions to and approval of the agenda.
There are two additions under personnel. I've got a part-time police department hire to make, and I'd like to open all the seasonal positions for interviews.
Okay.
Motion to approve is amended.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Agenda is approved as amended. Seeing no visitors to be heard, we will move on to the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion is second. Any discussion on that?
Is Ryan available?
Ryan is not here.
Did you hear anything about how the time at the South Dakota Tourism Conference in Pierre went?
Not much. I know they had a couple of conversations with some prospective businesses there that I heard about today, but I didn't get to talk to Ryan much about that. I can follow up with you a little bit later, Bill, and talk to you about a couple of those.
Sounds good, thank you.
You bet.
The streets look really good after this last one. Just wanted to commend everyone. Good job.
Agreed. I think a lot of folks forget how small our crew is that keeps our streets clean. So kudos to all of those who help out as well.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right, we'll do roll call. So Doherty,
I heard nine.
Aye.
Welch,
Aye.
Riley,
Three.
and Swear.
Aye.
All right, consent agenda is approved. And old business, the marquee sign.
Mayor and Council, if you look at this, I'd say before 4 o'clock today, it's been updated. I did get some more information and a price quote. So those are now added to the packet. They still show us single-sided in the new information. They are double-sided. Confirmed that with Pride Neon out of Sioux Falls. So those are the two options there. The second, EMC Welcome To, I think, was my preferred. It just doesn't seem quite as busy if you're going to put the sponsors and the Lennox sign on there. This also does include concrete and dirt work.
No, this does include concrete,
It
because
does.
before it did
Yep,
not.
I confirm that it does include that. It does not include electrical,
Okay.
but everything else will be included here. So, so the sign structure is $67,150 plus tax. Includes excavation of hole, steel and concrete footing, custom fabricated double-sided sign structure, LED illuminated Lennox flag logo, LED illuminated sponsor sign panels, the 8-foot 3-inch by 4-foot 5-inch vertical display, installation, location to be determined, electrical and to sign, and final pickup must be done by licensed electrician, and that is on us.
I tend to agree with your comments of let's budget for it and plan for it, and not just try to absorb it with the current surplus. Especially this early in the year, who knows what's gonna come up through the remainder of the year. You might want that money for something else.
Yep.
I agree, that makes the most sense.
Okay. Do we like these designs? Is it something we want to keep in the back pocket and budget for next year with these designs? Something similar?
I don't like the L.
Oh, the L? Yeah.
But I like the option 2, is it the skinnier one?
With the sponsors across the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one just seems like it's such a,
Busy.
it's busy and that corner we're putting on, we want to make sure we're not blocking anything more than we need to, even though, it's gonna be out of our triangle and all that stuff.
Is there anything in Sioux Falls or that have this exact like screen that we could,
Same size screen?
yeah,
We'll find out.
or similar, just to kind of get a feel for what it actually looks like?
And they're both of their same, my only, I guess, hesitation, not concern is, I was figuring it'd be the long way, so you could have
Right,
longer words that way, and with it being the short way, I don't know if that impacts.
how to read, it's hard to be harder to read as,
Right. That's my only.
Let's do everything with text.
Up and down.
Emojis.
Thanks for that, Chad, appreciate it. But yeah, I think something we need to look at, but it doesn't have to be right now.
Okay. I'll follow up on that, if there's anything similar around, and let them know that we want to keep tabs on this, what we're going to budget for next year. We understand that may increase the cost, so.
Any other?
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other items there for everyone? All right, on to new business. Item A, community engagement apps.
I'm going to pull up the first one here. We're going to do this by Zoom. So the first one is going to be from Apogee. Allie Cantrell is our person presenting there. I'm going to try and get this on the screen here. Bless you.
Phew, excuse me.
I told them 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll get to the next one after that. So, Bill, again, I'm going to try and get this recorded for you.
Thank you.
It is being recorded already. So, Allie, can you hear me? Allie, I can't hear you, unfortunately.
Oh,
There we go.
there we go.
She's just really quiet.
you need to turn on, there you go.
Yes, you better now. Yep.
She can't see anything.
Yeah, we can hear you. It's just a little bit delayed. So I'm going to turn you around so you can see kind of see everybody. But you're on, and go ahead and present.
Okay, awesome. Hi, everyone. Appreciate y'all letting me present tonight. Yeah, Nate and I have been having some good conversations, kind of just about talking about the needs of the city and everything. I know a couple things that have been mentioned to me about, kind of in our first conversation about just the need to be able to connect with citizens and make them feel more connected to you too. I know, I think it really stuck out with me, like one of the things he talked about is how there was a community survey and citizens talked about how they feel disconnected from their city officials. And one of the things we look at when we look at communication tools is how can we kind of start to bridge that gap? How can we start to get citizens to feel a lot more engaged with their city officials? How can we get them to, how can we like just better establish that sense of community? And we know that kind of for one thing when it comes to the communication tools, it's one thing to just like get really necessary information out, kind of like, you know, city council agendas or, hey, a reminder that trash pickup isn't happening tomorrow. But what really starts making citizens feel very engaged is to focus on building an identity, like using your communication tools to help boost a more positive perception in community members' minds. And basically just having ways to celebrate all the good things that are happening. What we find so often, especially in smaller areas, is that, you know, you're stretched thin on time. I know in a small town like someone like Maple wears a whole lot of hats, it's hard to get information out there in a timely manner. And so what happens is that a lot of the more kind of fun updates, you know, a lot of those local stories, they kind of fall by the wayside. And so what we focus on is being able to create tools that make it A, really easy for your community to get the information from you, but also make it really easy for city officials to get that information out there. So it's all a really huge focus on user friendliness and also on just being able to celebrate the positive things happening. So one of the first places we focus on is looking at where people get their information from. We know years ago there was a huge shift where everything went online rather than going to, you know, rather than being newspapers, radio, kind of those old-fashioned communication methods, everything sort of switched online. But then even these days, we see that there's been a huge shift in the way in which people go online. You know, it's no longer sitting down at desktop, laptop computers, but most of the people go right here to get their information. And so that's kind of where we first focus our strategies, is how to build out a mobile strategy for you guys. So I'm going to pull this up and kind of do a screen share with you all. A number of years ago, we started to see a lot of cities, they started to recognize, okay, people are on their phones, this is where they're at, we need to try and reach them there. So a lot of cities would go out and get an app. And so we realized that although social media does have some advantages, there's still a lot of disadvantages to that too. And when we saw a lot of cities start to get an app, like it's a great idea, but we kind of saw big missteps occur with that. So I want to pull up an example first that is a city that we do not work with. I'll pull it up, Fishers, Indiana. Just to give you a frame of reference of what you typically see a lot of the times with these city apps. So let's say I'm a citizen and I just want to know what's going on in town. Maybe I want to know when the next city council meeting is. Maybe I'm looking for some events that might be happening I could take the kids to. So I open up my city app, I come to the calendar, and I get this. Basically, what just happened here is it was a redirect to a website. Now, I'm not sure if you guys can really kind of see the frustration in this, but it's, you know, crowded, it's difficult to see what the events are going on. I have to click on each of these individual things. Just not that easy to navigate. It doesn't function the way someone would expect an app to function. So, while Finishers had a really great idea with this, what happened was is they were just losing their audience. People were closing that and not coming back to it. Now we're going to take a really fundamentally different approach with this. I'm going to pull up a city that we work with. I believe Hollister, Missouri is pretty similar in size to you guys. So right here, by that same example, I can scroll through here and see those events that are happening in town. Even when I click into this, I'm not redirected. It all stays native on the app. There's this Chamber of Commerce monthly luncheon. I can click on that, I could share that out to other members in my community. I could add it to my own calendar. I could even get immediate turn-by-turn directions to where that meeting is being held. So entirely different experience, right? Our goal with these apps is to keep everything as accessible as possible within as few clicks as possible. Right here, staff directories, we talk about kind of the difficulty of getting citizens to feel like they're really connected to their city officials. Right here, they can open up this app and within a couple clicks be able to call or email the mayor's office. They can know how to reach their councilman. We've been hearing complaints a lot of times about the difficulty on websites to navigate and find something as simple as building permits or city ordinances. Even those things we make easily accessible. So right here, citizens can pull up that building permit right from the palm of their hands. I love what Hollister, Missouri did here is they took the concept of the staff directory and they have a lot of parks in their area, so they even created a park directory. So you can see all the parks and be able to get instant directions to those. Our goal in this, by creating something that's really user-friendly, is for one thing, we're helping kind of boost a more positive perception in people's minds. And we're also able to start holding the audience's attention. We also have on the home page what's called the live feed. When I click into here, you can see this is the place to start sharing out the great things that are happening in the community. You could, of course, get necessary information out there, but you can also just start telling historical stories and celebrating things that are happening. Here's a feature about a high school graduate. She's an artist. I'll pull up a couple different apps here to show you guys. So you can see this live feed, it's designed to look a lot like a social media feed. We know that's how people like to consume their information. The benefit with this over social media, though, is that, for one thing, not everyone's on social media, but everyone does have a smartphone these days, pretty much. You'll notice there's no comment section. And we did that on purpose. We designed it that way because we want this to start to be a go-to sort of hub for your community members to get information from. We want them to come here first for information and not be bombarded by sudden other opinions. So there's no comment section. This is strictly the narrative that you guys put out there. So that's the first place we start, is building out a strong mobile strategy for you to communicate with your citizens. But like I said, we also recognize that things need to be easy for you guys. We're not trying to just add more work to people's plates here by saying, hey, here's yet another platform to work on. So we designed a program called ThrillShare. This is ThrillShare. This is the way in which you would update that app. So let's say that live feed, LF, I can create a post right here. Some kind of post that I need to get out to community members. I can push that out to the live feed, which is not just to the app, but also to the website, and I'll show you that in a moment. If it's something pretty important, emergency situation, road closures, maybe inclement weather coming into town, to remind people about, you can do a notification right through that app. So it pops up on people's phones. You can also, at the same time, though, push this message out to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of those social media channels, your app and your website are all being updated on one page with one click of the publish button. One of my favorite things in here is when I come to these previous posts, you can see our @the Mayor, Annalee has posted, I've been posting, my colleague Ashley has made posts. You can actually give a lot of staff members their own profiles, their own logins into ThrillShare, so that a lot more people can start taking part in that content creation. Start getting those announcements out, start telling those stories. It doesn't all have to fall on one person's shoulders. You can have profiles for individuals, but you can also have profiles for whole departments. So the Parks and Rec department, the police department. We realize you also want some oversight in that, though. You don't want to just give people free rein. So even though a lot of people can start taking part in creating those stories, they do have to come to a waiting for approval section. And that's adjustable any way you guys need it to be. I mentioned the live feed also goes to the website. So that's the final piece of what we do for you. So we fully build out your website. We build and host the site. You get a clean, modern design. Of course, we can embed anything that you need in here, like those online payments. And the great thing now is that your live feed is automatically coming here too. So we recognize that, your current citizens will probably know about your app, they'll know about your social media presence, but someone who is just looking up the city for the first time, maybe they're thinking about relocating, first thing they do is Google you. And so you really need your website to kind of serve as that front porch. You want it to showcase a lot of those daily happenings that are going on so they can really get a feel for what life is like there. And you can see too, just like with those different profiles, citizens can actually see who that information is coming from. Being able to kind of put a name and a face to each announcement that comes out can help them feel a lot more connected. We'll look at a few different websites here. Every single thing on these websites, not just the live feed, but everything, is controlled right here in ThrillShare. So this is the place to do all of your updates, no matter what communication platform it is. And then one last piece, I'm going to jump back to my phone. We talk about how everything is so mobile focused these days, and we know that's the same for city officials too. So staff members can actually come right here in the ThrillShare app, no matter where they're at. They never have to run back to their office in order to make those live feed updates. They can come right here, create a post. If you're a moderator and someone else has posted, you get a notification and can approve or decline it right here on your phone. So that's the overview of the tools. Nate, feel free to jump in if I missed anything that you wanted me to make sure I hit. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer that.
Thanks, Ellie. I think you hit everything that I was hoping you would. I assume there might be a few questions here. I want to be cognizant of Allie's time. You may have heard she's got a child with her. So,
Have we gotten any formal quotes yet?
Yeah, we have a formal proposal from Apogee and from the other one as well.
Okay. And then how long, say we chose you, how long does it typically take to set up a new town?
Yeah, so typical rollout is about 60 to 90 days. A couple things on that. We have rolled people out a lot faster before. We've actually gotten some turned on within 2 weeks before, so it can be adjusted to your schedule. We handle all the content migration, for one thing. I know it can be really daunting to think of switching your website over. We're not just on this website and you have to go back in and input all your information. We'll handle moving everything for you, sort of take that weight off your shoulders. And when it comes to training, we train every single staff member who's going to be using ThrillShare, and the training is free and ongoing. So anytime someone new joins the staff, or if you just need a refresher, we'll jump into a Zoom call and help them out. There's also chat boxes there within ThrillShare. The support team is really incredible. They're right here in Little Rock with us, and they'll jump in and help you out very quick on that.
Just like a subscription?
Yes, we pay the first year would be build out and subscription cost. I think, Allie, correct me if I'm wrong, 16.5, something like that.
So.
The build out was like 9,000.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah, so the, setup development is 9,500 and okay. My daughter's taking some what on YouTube. Yeah, so 9,500 setup development, and then the annual cost is 6,450. So it's like 6,450, and you're locked in at that. So the most we actually have, like we have in the contracts, it's just a 3% increase per year, and we actually going to do that every single year.
You talked about a little bit of integration with social media apps. So when you post on this app, does it automatically go to each social media site? Can you control some of that? And what does that look like? And then how does that integrate with our website?
How does that, I'm sorry?
How does that integrate with the website?
Yeah, so the website for one thing is all controlled in Thrillshare. When you post to the live feed on the app, that automatically goes to the website. So whenever you're posting to the app and website, those are done at the same time. You get to choose if you want that post to go out to Facebook or to Twitter or to Instagram. And if you wanted to, you could do a post that only goes to Facebook and doesn't go to the app or website. So you basically get to kind of pick and choose how exactly you want those posts to go out.
For each post?
Yeah.
So each post, like if I want to do one post to Facebook or whatever, I could one of three or three of three?
Yeah, each,
Like if you wanted to go to Facebook but not Instagram, is that what you're asking?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can select which one
Yeah.
to post to.
Are we charged by how many users are allowed a portal and the ability to post? Perfect.
Is there and this might be just my lack of understanding of technology, but can you use this platform to log into, let's say, Instagram or Facebook and go to a different page and post as a user, like an end user? Or is it just an external site?
No, so it links to the city's page. So if the city has a Facebook page, that's what it links to. It's not linking to an individual profile when it comes to the social media.
your profile under the city, so
So you could post as the city of Lennox.
If you posted something as Brittany Maurer as a user in this, it would post on the city's.
But I'm wondering if we can, so like when, instead of Nate posting on Facebook as Nate,
Yep.
can we post as City of Lennox? Do you see what I'm saying?
I think that's the only way we can do it.
but it'll be each of us will have our own user. It'll say City Lennox Brittany or City Lennox Stacy.
Okay.
And then we'll all get to post to the
Yeah.
Facebook page?
Yeah.
But it's gotta get
Sign
approved.
the
It's gotta get approved.
So
It's
there's
Yeah,
more than
Chad
one
is-
person
signed up.
that has like the approval button.
still, there is still a moderator that must approve all posts.
Can there be more than one moderator?
You have to clear that up. To kind of clear that up, like you have the different profiles within Skillshare. Those different users will show up on the app and on the website. But when you're posting, when that post transfers to Facebook or to any of the social media channels, it only shows up as the city's page. So once you see that post on social media, all it's going to say is City of Lennox, or whatever your Facebook page's name is exactly, Lennox, South Dakota, City of Lennox. Only on the app and the website will actually show the individual user who was in Thrillshare doing that post. So makes sense.
Yeah, you lost your privileges. And then my other question was on,
Lennox app?
oh, go ahead, sorry.
Say that again, Bill?
No. Will it be called the City of Lennox app, or will it be downloaded under your business name, and then we search the user searches for City of Lennox underneath all apps available?
It'll say City of Lennox, like, here, I'll show you, I'll pull up real quick what that one looks like for you guys.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Bill's on the phone and not here, so he can't really see it very well, but
We
we're.
can take
Oh.
a picture.
We can see it.
We can take a picture.
Yeah.
So you guys can see the App Store,
What was the one in Missouri? Was it Hollister?
Yeah, I should look it up.
Hollister, Missouri. So right here, I'm searching Hollister, Missouri. What I get is the city of Hollister, and it actually has the city's logo here.
Thanks.
So that's what will show in the App Store.
My other question was on support. So you touched on support a little bit, but do we have a certain team or cohort of support individuals, or do we get just a random operator in your support staff team?
Yeah. So good question. For the onboarding process, you get a dedicated onboarder who is there for the entire onboarding process, is for during the setup period. They handle the training, they handle all the design, implementation, and everything. They're kind of the team lead on that, and they have other people helping them. And then you'll have from there on out, once kind of everything kicks off and the switch gets turned on for your new app and website, you have a dedicated client success manager who is your point of contact within Apogee. Now, they're your person to call or email anytime you have issues with anything. If you have just small issues, you can jump into, like I said, the chat box within ThrillShare. That's going to be, they rotate out on the support desk. That's just going to be kind of whoever's on the support desk at that time. But your client success manager is always there, phone call or email away. One of the great things about them too is that they're just there for technical issues. Your client success managers at Apogee are actually trained in marketing. They help you guys come out with a marketing plan for getting word about your app out to your community. They'll help you roll out a drip campaign to get the word out about that. And anytime that there's, something new going on in town, like maybe y'all guys are starting up a new festival every fall and you want to know the best way to promote this on the app and on the website, give them a call and they can help run through some ideas for you.
So speaking
they're really good when it comes to marketing.
So speaking of that, what additional cost does that bring? Or any other additional fees or costs for that service or add-ons?
No.
It's just
$64.50 a year. There's no additional cost for training, support, no additional cost to just call up your rep and ask them for advice on something.
And add-ons, widgets on the website don't cost any extra, if we add additional things to the website?
If you need to embed anything, whatever you go through for utility payments, we just embed that into the website. So there's no extra cost to build that out. With the websites, you also get a free redesign once a year. Most people opt to do that every 2 to 3 years, but you have the option as often as once a year if you just totally want to completely overhaul and revamp the look of your site and the layout of it.
Thank you.
So the intention would be that board docs would still exist and link through the site type of thing?
Yeah, the board docs would still exist, would be our primary board management tool.
Yeah.
But all of our, our utility communications would, en masse to customers. So customer service management would still come out of Simple City and G-Works, but this would be our primary channel for reaching people.
Then everything that's on our current website would migrate over to this?
That contract, a 3-year contract, I think expires in March or April.
And be more user-friendly than our current website. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, looks good.
Thank you guys, I appreciate you guys having me. If there's no other questions, I'm going to go tend to the 5-year-old again.
Thanks, Allie.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
One thing you didn't mention, this is the current business that, the app that school district uses. Exactly.
Everything's an upcharge. Yeah.
On sports engine?
What's the yearly contract at? What do you have?
Hi, Nate.
Hi, Christy, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I'm gonna turn you around here, if everybody can hear you okay. Can you, Stacy, do you wanna just see if they can hear you okay?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
Good, all right, you're here with the council, and I do have one on the phone that can't see what's happening, but I don't know if you're recording or not, but if you could, I'd like to get this to him afterwards.
Sure, I can record for you.
Perfect, thank you.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so hi, thank you guys for having me at your council meeting. I know how long that you can get. I'm on several boards in my hometown, so I would like to respect your time as much as possible and just kind of jump right into the app. I'm going to go through the app first because that's kind of what Nate and I were touching on the most. And he just shared with me recently that you guys you're possibly looking at like a website design as well. And so I actually had our website designers go through your current website, and I did send a proposal tonight, sorry that was so late, but if you guys, I'm welcome to, but I'm going to start with the app, and I'll just touch a bit on the website as well, but if you guys have any questions as we go, just feel free to stop me. Okay, you guys okay are able to see this okay? Yep. Okay, perfect. So this is going to be the home screen on your app. So to give you just a little bit of background, Living Local is the app that you guys will be receiving. Living Local's parent company is Cat & Company, so that is where the website would be coming from. Cat & Company has been in business for over 35 years, based in Bismarck, North Dakota. And Living Local just kind of came through COVID as an idea to really just connect communities and bring everything the communities have already done and spent time and money on in their communities into one central location. So that was kind of the idea. The benefit of having Living Local build your app and then Cat & Company build your website, if there's ever an issue with one or the other, or you're not really utilizing the website like you thought you would, or the app, or vice versa, there's no connection to one or the other. Now, that being said, we do embed things, like there's going to be similar things, so like the calendar is going to be in both, automatically set up, your live feeds, things like that are going to be similar, but they're not connected in that you don't have to keep one to have the other. So this is going to be the home screen on your app. You guys would really have a hand in making this personal to Lennox. A lot of our clients have used water tower images, or like a welcome sign to your community, or just even a great aerial image of your community or landscape. So you guys would help that, build that out. And the great thing about this is this home screen that you see that will say welcome to Lennox, this is going to be all over your marketing materials. So we do provide a marketing package for you guys, again, with this welcome to Lennox home screen on all of those, really just trying to help promote your app and get people to download it. And I'll show you that package here in just a bit. So there's going to be a health and wellness section in there. In that is going to for sure be this Living Local network. And so what this is just a network where we, it's an in-house network that we have, that we put in these videos that are really just trying to be engaging for community members to take charge of their own health. There's also the ability for you guys to put in information if you guys have like a local clinic that has a website or a Facebook page, or you guys have a hospital or anything like that. We would be able to put in this section what would be relevant for your community. Next is going to be the alerts and updates section. So this section here is where you guys would be able to let your community know if there was a road closure due to imminent weather that I hear you guys have had a lot of recently, or maybe it's a road construction season and you guys want to let your community know, here's where you're going to put those alerts and updates. These can also be tied to a push notification. So how you do that, obviously, is you would go in and just link that to a push, and that would go out to all of your users, pinging each phone, letting them know that this certain event was going on, or this road was closed due to an accident or weather or what have you. Next is the upcoming events calendar. So this is one of the most popular sections with our current clients. Within the app, the idea here is that we would build the calendar on your website, and anytime anything is added to that calendar or changed in that calendar, it's automatically updated in the app, which I think is great. So you can go month by month and you can see what's happening within your community. If you click on something It just gives you a bit more information about the event. We always like to try to add visual images just to really kind of keep it user-friendly and eye-appealing. You're always going to find directions to that place, where it is, what time it is, and then this add to calendar feature, so you can click that and it adds to your personal calendar in your phone, which is really nice. I try and go through a few months at a time in my hometown and then curate my calendar to what events I would like to go to. We do have a school section in the app. Now, I know that Lennox has a school app, and actually several of our clients also have school apps, and they are building this, or most have built already, and seeing what the community says about it. So they're trying to gauge whether or not, do we need a school app and a city app, or since the school is part of the city app, can we get away with doing just the one app where it's all things Lennox involved in one spot? We do have several clients doing that, and then what's great about that is you can cost share, right, with the school. So if the school wants to just be a part of this because of the amount that they're paying for their school only app, then they can jump on board with you and really take some of that pressure out of the city. In the school section, I'll just kind of fly through this. They do have their own announcement section, much like the alerts and updates for the city, so that's where they're going to put their information. And we have several calendars for the school. Now, the school wouldn't necessarily have to be a huge part of this. If you guys didn't want the school section, we can absolutely take it out. But if you wanted to keep it in, we can put as much as we can in here. So for example, we can grab calendars from their current website right now and embed them, and so that those are just going to be updated in here. No one would have to do that updates. It would be an automatic thing. So we've got academic calendars, lunch menus, athletic calendars, and then we do links to schools' videos. A lot of schools have their own YouTube channel, much like your city does. We pull that link in here, and then anytime anything is added, it's just automatic in the app. We also do a link to the website, Facebook page, and then of course this would be Infinite Campus for South Dakota, John Muir Power School. So we do those links in there for you guys. Next we have the community section. So here is where you would go to find a job, something for sale, rummage sales, fundraisers, just really all the community things. If you're looking for a job, you would clearly go into this section, but also as an employer, you could go into this job if you want section if you wanted to submit a job posting. So it kicks you right into the upload content feature of the app. This is where anyone in Lennox is going to be able to communicate with one of you guys as the administrators on the app. This is where they would say, hey, I'm doing a fundraiser for Little Kids Wrestling, would you please get this in the app? Adding things into the app is just as simple as copy and paste, and it's as fast to do to add an event as it would be to send an email. I don't consider myself to be tech savvy, and I can do it. So I think if I can do it, anybody can do it. Oh, the only other thing in the community section that runs a little bit different is if you guys do it in your city, have like a buy and sell page or like an online rummage sale. On Facebook, we do that link here. Again, just trying to keep familiarity with your residents and what they already have. The weather section on the home screen is just very basic. Weather modules showing wind and temperature mostly, but I think a nice feature to have. And then this section is new. We rolled this out at the end of last quarter. This is our local section. The idea behind this is to really spotlight small businesses in your community. So the idea behind that is we're going to have a small business highlight here where once a month we go in and we talk to your that business, whichever one happens to be first, second, third, and we say, you know, what's your story? What brought you here? Tell us about you. Are you running any specials this month? That kind of stuff. And so we build this out to really just promote and highlight that business within your community. Of course, you will find the entire business directory right below that as well. Again, with images, and then if you click on it, it just gives you a bit more information. Again, with the visuals, and then always that way to contact. And then we also have the weekly ads and deals in here, as you can see, which is kind of a nice feature for people to be able to see that. In the more section, we start with Visit Lennox, so we are going to do a direct link into your website here as well. Now, I will say this, if you guys do decide to go with us, our app may be out, your app may be out before the website is completed. And so what we can do is just put a link into your website, your current website here, just to, again, keep that familiarity with your residents, but then be building that website on the back end as well. So while I'm talking about timing, we do say for either one of our builds, it's 30 to 90 days before the website or the app is in your hand. But I've seen them go out in as quick as 3 weeks. It's really just about the communication between whether it's Nate and our team, or a group of your team and our team. It's really about how fast we can get together, and we always just try to say our timeline is your timeline. So if we can get it out the door as fast as we can, we'll do that for you guys. So in the Visit Lennox section, you're going to have things to do, where to shop, where to eat, where to sleep. I don't necessarily need to go through all of these. They are kind of what you see is what you get, but you're going to have a little bit more information in these sections. Now, I've had current clients that we have call and say, we had someone passing through our community, and they stopped and they were like, we didn't know you guys had an app, we downloaded it, and we didn't know there was so much to do here. So this can really be nice for current residents or people considering moving to Lennox. What is there for me and my family to do in Lennox? Why would I move there? I think this is a great section to really showcase your community. A local paper, I can't remember if you guys had a paper or not.
Yes.
Yep, Lennox Independent.
Perfect. Yep, I see it in my notes now. Thanks, Nick. So if you guys have that online version, we'll just do a link right in here for that paper as well. We also have a city directory, so it's a little different than the business directory. This is a very basic city directory. So this is going to be the local government, so you guys, your clerk, your recorder, things like that, local public health. Again, just very basic. In here, you're going to find an email address and a phone number, and of course, you can call right from the app, which is nice. Radio station.
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, lots
So
of
we can
them
remove
do
that
call,
section.
nothing local.
Okay, sure. We can remove that section if you guys want. And while I'm speaking of removing stuff, we can take anything out here that you guys don't feel is pertinent to your community. So if there's something in here that you want to kick it out, we can do that. On the other side of that coin, if there's something that you guys aren't seeing in here that you want, we can add that. Community groups is the next section. Again, a section great, I think, for people that are considering moving to the area, or people that maybe just don't know what all is offered or available in Lennox. So in this section, if you're going to have like your Parks and Rec, your local Legions Club, your Lions, things like that, different community clubs and groups, organizations, you're going to click on it again with that visual, and you're going to maybe find hours, memberships, things like that. Next section is churches. So this looks a little bit similar to the business directory. You're just going to have a picture, an image of that church, and then inside of here, the church has a website, a Facebook page. We'll do those links in there for you guys, and again, the phone number or contact information for that particular church. Live stream section for the city. So you guys do already have a YouTube channel. We can pull that link in here. And that would run similar to the school section, the live stream school, which is nice. Anything else, if you guys wanted to add a different YouTube channel, like if you wanted to keep a city channel for your meetings and your councils, your park boards, things like that, and then add a different channel for like maybe your 4th of July parades, your fireworks, or your, Wake Up Santa, or your Parade of Lights, things like that, we could do that. Or combine the two, whichever works for you. Again, I started this one. I'm going to just explain that here in a bit. Next section is for volunteer first responders. So this is your local EMS, your volunteer firemen, your police department. A little bit about them, and then if anyone in your community has any interest in becoming a part of one of those amazing groups, They would click this here, that email is going to go to whoever you guys choose. So if you have like a local EMS coordinator, or maybe that's the fire chief, or the police chief, maybe it's you, Nate, not sure, but wherever that best email would go, and then they can get those names to the people that matter, that would be able to help them out. So that's really kind of a great way to amp up those programs. Upload content, we touched on this a bit right away. This is where anyone is going to communicate with you. If they have something to add to the app, or maybe they just have an idea. Like, I love the Lennox app, but I would love to see this. That's great. This is all going to come to you in an email form. There is no section in this app where anyone has the ability to comment, which I think is really important to understand that, and I think that's a really good point. This is meant to be a community connection tool. It's meant to be informational from the city to the residents, all encompassing, not just city meetings, minutes, but you see the churches, the groups, the organizations, things like that. It's supposed to be all things Lennox, all things together in this one space. The last section here is our share app. So this is going to be Lennox's unique QR code that you can share with your friends, neighbors, relatives. Of course, it would also be available on the Apple and Google Play stores. And then as we were going through, I started just a few videos, and the reason I did that is because it falls into this favorite section in this little hamburger. If you click on that on your app, you click on that, and anything that you start is going to be in here. So let's say you were watching the city council meeting from 2019, and you noticed something you wanted to share with somebody, or you heard something. So you can star that, and it's going to fall in this section here. It will not leave this section until you delete it. What I like about that is I think we've all had that Facebook experience where we see something like, oh, I need to show my friend or my daughter, I want her to see this, and they go back and it's gone. It's like it never existed. So I think it's great that you don't have to continue scrolling through, wasting time, but you can just favorite it, it falls here. Again, it's just as easy to get it out as it is in. You just exit out and it's gone. Last thing on the app is the notifications. So we touched on this earlier. You can attach those to the alerts and updates, or you can just send a notification out. So if you guys have an event coming up, you can send out a general notification touching all of your users in this section here. And then we've also broken it down into 4 other groups. We've got community, local businesses, public health notifications, and school updates and events. So as a city, I think it's great you guys have the ability to send out to groups for the mass as a whole. As a user, I absolutely love this feature. So I can go in and say, yes, I would like to know if my bloodhound is out on Main Street. I'd love to know if the businesses are running specials. Maybe, yeah, I would like to know if there's, updates for my health notifications and things like that, but maybe I don't have any kids, and so I don't want the constant alerts from the school. So I'm going to really curate this to my personal being. So I think that's a really nice feature. Any questions before I show you guys the toolkit for the client for you?
Doesn't sound like it.
I don't think so.
Okay, perfect. Going into that right here. So this is included in the package as well. So you guys are going to get this drop shipped to the city. In this package, again, all of these screenshots are going to be your screenshot. So the image you chose, and again, saying welcome to Lennox on it. You're going to be getting business cards, a couple different sized flyers, bookmarks, posters, social media graphics for you guys to use on your Facebook pages, your current website, your new website, door clings, acrylic sign holders, and then the news release for your newspaper. And we do have a radio ad in there that wouldn't pertain to you, but this is the package that comes with, which is kind of nice. I mean, it doesn't really matter how great a product we can build for you. If we don't help you get the word out, then, that's kind of our bad. So that is that package. I don't really have a website to show you guys for you to see, per se, what a website would be from us. And the reason I say that is because every website we do is custom to the cities. So we meet with you guys separately and we say, hey, what do you like? What do you see? What do you like on your website? What do you hate on your website? what do you want to see on the new website, and then we build it for you. Every website we do at Cap & Company is custom designed. So we do the photography ourselves, we get everything in place for you guys. So I don't really have a design to show you, but I will tell you that on the proposal that I gave Nate, there is an additional $2,800. So Nate, if you're looking at that, without that 28, you can obviously subtract that from, and it would be 18. But the additional 28 is from our senior designer. I met with her this afternoon, and she just recommended that you guys have so many documents within your website that we can put them in, individually, and have them in like a folder for people to scroll through. But what she really recommends is doing a library. So like it's like a resource library, and that's where that additional 28 comes in. So if you don't want the resource library, you can just cut that 28 out, and you still are going to get those documents in there. It's just not going to be in the library. So I'm going to show you a couple examples of what she showed me for the library. So here's one that we have done, and it's shown a little bit like this. So it would say resources at the top. So here's where you're going to find like your resolutions, your meeting minutes, your agendas, all of the things within your city, all those documents that you currently have within your website, they're all going to be in this section. So it might say resources, it might say documents, what have you. We just, again, work with you guys to make sure that you like it before anything goes live. But then you would be able to search by title here. So if you wanted meeting minutes from January 9th of 2018, you could search that, and then all of these topics would be in here as well. Obviously, they would be pertaining to your city based on your documents. But here's one example, and here is the other one she gave me. I actually like this one better. I think this one just kind of flows. But here's the example of the second resource page. So it would look something like the first one or second one, depending on which way you guys want to go. But I just wanted to explain that extra 2,800. And again, you don't have to do this. This does not have to be a library. We can get those all in a folder for you. But again, my designer recommended doing this just because of the ease of use on your end for your users. Just a lot easier to be able to search what you're looking for and then find it instantly without having to scroll through folders. Okay, any questions on that, on the website?
What were the other costs then, or what's this?
Yep, okay, so that resource,
I think with the website, we ended up around 20, is that right, Christy?
Yep, so with that resource package, I think it's 20,800. Without that resource package, and again, you can still get those documents in that website, the cost would be 18. And then that's including the maintenance and everything for the first year. That's including the marketing package as well. And then ongoing for year 2 and beyond, should you choose to continue, it's 4,000 for both the app and the website. That would be your hosting and maintenance. Did that answer the question?
Yes. Sorry, Bill?
How many communities do you currently serve?
We currently serve 63 communities, 64, sorry. I talked to someone today. 64 communities, all within North Dakota. So we started in North Dakota, and we have just now started branching to the other states. We are in communication with, I would say, probably 20 from Minnesota. None are live yet, though. What does your support team look like? Yeah, great question. So as soon as, if you guys say, yep, we're going to go with Living Local and Cat & Company, you guys are actually going to have 2 different units, right? So I've got a website designer that's going to be building out your website. His name's going to be Faden, and he's going to work directly with you, me, and him. We get together and do that website design. He's going to build it from start to finish.
And then he actually goes in and does quarterly refreshes on that website just to make sure everything's working properly. He tests it and does everything on that end. On the app side of things, you guys will have a designated project specialist from the day that you signed until the day that you don't have an app anymore. So you're going to have that same person from start throughout the entire process. If you guys ever have any questions or need anything, we have clients that call us all the time and say, I know you told us how to do this, but can you just do it? And absolutely, we're here for you guys. All you have to do is just shoot us an email, give us a phone call. If you want a refresher, we do training. As soon as the app comes out, we do training for everyone that is recorded and given to you so that if there are any administrators switching hands, that can be passed along. And of course, you can always call and we can redo it. It's no big deal. But yeah, we're here to help in any capacity that we can. And we do train you guys on all of the app and the website side as well.
So you have 64 communities, you said. Do a lot of those communities have both the app and the website? And do you feel like those integrate pretty seamlessly?
Yeah, so we don't have a lot of community. We have one community currently that is looking at we're building out the website for them as we speak. But no, a lot of the communities just have the app, and that's why I was trying to get our team to really look at the website side of things and how we could integrate and make that part of this proposal for you guys. Because as a company, like I said, Patent Company has done websites for over 35 years. And so we do websites well. Living Local was just kind of a division of Patent Company. And so I'm going to stop my share here so that you guys can see me a little better. So Living Local was a division of Patent Company. So we are kind of a separate entity, but yet we can embed and really fit seamlessly into the website. Melissa would be our senior designer. She's who I was visiting with today, and she said there's no problem to seamlessly integrate into both, so that there are one thing has to change. You know, when you do one entry, it goes to both.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you share your analytics with us?
Yep, monthly on the app side, so you guys can see that dashboard come through. You can see which points of the app are going to be the most popular, which points are maybe falling below, and then we not only share it with you guys, but then also help you. We say, hey, this one's really popular, so we really need to make sure we keep updated, keep current in this section, or this one's really hit a bottom. Is there anything we can put in here? Is there anything? And so we think about that and really just come to you guys with the ideas.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But this one would, our agendas and everything still be posted on Board Docs, and it would still be just linked that way.
Everything would still be on
So
board.
the library thing we wouldn't necessarily do, we wouldn't have our
We
agenda.
could have all our resolutions.
Everything
Yeah.
else could be in there.
Yep, so I think when you look at the documents we have on our website, you're gonna, under taxpayer transparency, is probably what we have the most. We have
Right.
minutes, monthly performance reports, capital improvement plan, every ordinance, every resolution for the last 5 or 6 years.
That would all be in there.
That can be quite a bit. So.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, every document, so that 2,800, I should clarify, that 2,800, that additional includes every single document that is on your website.
And there's a lot.
And again, it will categorize as well. So it goes all the way back, I don't know, she said millions, I said, well, that can't be true.
It's not millions, but it's a lot.
Yeah,
Like
she's exaggerating a little bit.
One of the things you see on our website
Yeah.
is that it's such a basic design that a lot of our information is shared. You know, we'll have a link, and then it'll be, well, you need to get this information, it's in a document.
Right.
It's never built out as, let's communicate that information on this page,
Right.
instead of in a document. So that's what we run into.
Right.
How many,
Yeah, absolutely.
how many users would be
Go ahead.
able to post to our, you know, is it just gonna be one guy, one person that can post, or is it gonna be multiple ways that multiple people can post?
Yeah, great question. We usually recommend 5. We haven't had any community ask for more than 5, but I'm sure if you guys needed more than 5, we definitely work with you in that setting. But usually people or communities, I should say, do it with 3 to 4. I think 4 is probably the most we have. But it's really dependent on you guys. If you say, no, we need 8, we'll get you 8. That's fine. And then those can be changed as well, too. So just because you give us, let's say we start with 5, you give us 5, and then, 2 of them are council members, and in 3 years they're off the council, we can remove and add as well.
Okay.
And then something I should point out too is when we go in to build the app itself, we actually build a separate account, a Gmail account for the city. And so it's going to be the city's account connected to that app. So it's not connected to anyone personally. So if there is turnover, or someone moves or resigns, retires, what have you, that's always just going to be in the city's name. So nothing connected to anyone personally. So there's not going to be like any begrudgment or anything if someone leaves and takes their email with you, So that's kind of a nice thing to be able to have it separate from everything. Any other questions, comments?
Thank you for.
Yeah.
You got it, Christy.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having us. I look forward to hearing what you guys decide.
Great, thank you. Have a good day.
Have a great day, guys.
Have we talked with the school district about if there's any potential for us to collaborate on the multiple use of their app that they already have existing with Aptigee to collaborate and potentially share the cost? If there was an opportunity to maybe have just a different section for the city and a different section for the school. I'm just thinking with ease of use for the community, that it is familiar to them. They only have to go to one place.
I was thinking the same thing.
Is it a cost savings?
We haven't yet, but Mayor mentioned that I met with her on Friday morning.
Sure.
Whatever one it is. So that is a discussion we have to have.
I like that, but then I don't like it in the fact that if you're not involved with the school, are you going to be turned off by so much school notification? Like, I mean, I get
I'm just
3 texts a
wondering
day or more from the school and that type of thing, but
if
for
there's
me,
a way
because
to kind of separate it, where it's a branch, where you go into the app, but then you get to choose, like, I want to go to the school or I want to go to the city. And I think we're going to have a lot more use if we are with the school. Yes, I see that point, but if there's a way to kind of separate it out where you can select which one, or you can maybe select which notifications you receive. Like, I don't want the school notifications, but I do want the cities. And, are people going to know our app exists, but they'll know if it's with the school? Most people, if you have a kid in the school district, you'll see.
That's all about marketing too. I mean, to get that word out there. And I guess I'm both. I see both sides of it. I'm thinking
yeah, I do too.
one that's like if we're all using Aptigee, why not go in together? But then yeah, there's a decent amount of people that really don't have the time.
I think you want to own your own content too. Like, I think we want it to be our app and the city's app and the city's website and that stuff, because I think there's a lot of people in the community that don't live in town, have kids in the town,
and when we want
or
it to
have
be,
kids in the school district.
like she was kind of mentioning, it's like all inclusive, like it's the church is in the school, and which is
That's
one
a
way to look at it.
Yeah.
Or do we want it to be the city's pushing and engaging with our stuff? This is a little more narrowly focused.
Well, I think
That's
we,
where I'm seeing
I think we,
Lennox, but then, and we still own our content, it would just be a subdivision of Lennox.
yeah, there's
You
a school
choose the
button, they can
school,
click on the
right.
school button and then it takes them to the school link.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or the
Like
school
we have our app,
website
and
or
then there's
whatever.
go to the school.
It's just the platform is shared.
Right.
I don't know anything about any of that stuff.
Well, I think of like Sanford and Lifescape, they share Epic system, which is their computer software system. But Sanford isn't responsible for what Lifescape does in their computer software system, right? And Lifescape's not responsible for Sanford, but they share Epic.
So my question is, if we share a platform like that, can we post to the Lennox City Facebook page or the school Facebook page?
Well, I think
you
those
can-
are questions we have to.
Yeah, I think you control that post or moderator controls entirely where it gets.
The other thing I need to know is, are we allowed to have more than one moderator?
No.
We're gonna vote to do
Nancy
that.
spends all day just saying,
We're
no,
gonna have
no,
a specific, Linux app policy that we have to draft now, but,
I think,
Honestly, I think the first one. Who we talking about, it was better?
yeah, you can talk,
I was more comfortable with the first people.
I like the ease of use for the
Yeah.
first one, I thought was better.
Well, I like that somebody else has already been the guinea pig in town for it too.
yeah.
Is that-
Well, and people know, yeah, it's more
And it
user.
just seemed a lot more user, like, integrative, like they've gotten it all figured out.
I'm concerned about the website and the app integration with the city one, that has not been tested.
They don't have this much experience, like, nobody's done it yet, so we're gonna be the guinea pig.
And it's more expensive.
it is, yeah.
Initially, long term.
Yeah, long term, it
Yeah.
could
After
go
3
the
or 4
other way.
years, it kinda is.
Yeah, they're both pretty close to each other overall, but they are, that first year they're giving us, they're doing that as in kind. So
And
4,400 is off of that proposal for the first year. So we figure that in, we're probably closer to a $6,000 or $8,000 difference in cost.
And that app is what, 2.5 years old?
Give or take, yeah.
So that's a little concerning too.
Yeah. I think, looking at the two of them, they both offer similar but not exactly the same things. One is very much geared for small communities in the upper Midwest, living local. That's what they started. They got their start in Hettinger, and they built out from there. And Apogee has been around for larger communities. Now, the benefit you get with that is that they have more tools and more familiarity with some of the cross functionality of the website and the app. But you don't get that importance of community as much as you do with living local necessarily. So it's still there, but local newspaper, local, we don't have a radio station, but local radio station. Those are things that are really key to some of those smaller communities and keep them alive economically and in terms of engagement. So they're offering similar things, but with different perspectives, I think.
So just so I understand correctly, are they going to take our existing website and connect it with the app, or are they going to rebuild our entire website from scratch that we have now?
Rebuild.
Okay.
Both of them offer that, right?
That's-
And are both offering a redesign every
No,
year?
just Apogee has offered that.
I think that's a good point too. It seems like a good-
It's always nice to kind of freshen.
Because, yeah, you think this is great, and then you use it for you're like, nah, I wish this was over here or something a little different.
So we don't have to make a decision tonight, just want everybody to get a view of what's out, what we're looking at. I think it's important for the public to know that we're looking at this, because this is, just one more way for us to help engage with the community in a way that we don't already. So we'll have this up relatively soon. I do have proposals from both of them. We'll have Brett look over, and we'll hopefully have this up again later on.
Perfect.
Thanks for recording that.
Thank you. Okay, next is Stephanie Miller Grant.
Good evening, council. So once again, this year we are applying for the Stephanie Miller Grant. That is an opportunity for us to be awarded up to $1,500 to use towards our summer reading program. So this will be the 5th year that we've applied, and out of those last 5, after the previous 4 years, we've received it 3 years. So this would be the 4th year of possibly receiving that. It is just a small grant that started out with a family who lost their loved one and wanted to continue to provide communities for for reading. So it's specifically for libraries and summer reading programs. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but there's up to 25 libraries will be awarded that have the 5,000 or fewer fewer residents for the city libraries under 7,500 LSAs, which is the service areas. And then there's up to 5 libraries that will also be awarded, so there's a total of 30 altogether, but there's 5 that are in the over 5,000, but we, because of the combo library with our listserv and stuff like that, we fall into that 25 library category, so just depends on how many apply for it and so on. So.
Motion to approve applying for the Stephanie Miller grant application.
Second.
Second.
Motion
Can I ask you a
second,
question?
yeah, questions?
First of all, I appreciate you applying for grants every year. I know that you've always done really great work with that. I just have a question on the grant application. I just noticed a couple of the pages, the last few, just the questions weren't answered. Is that just a normal?
That's right. So
you don't have to answer
no,
them. I just wanted to make sure you knew that they
right.
were blank
So
on here,
the
that
blank,
you weren't submitting that.
the blank on the bottom is for our evaluation if we were awarded the grant. We have to go back in and refill that part of it in later at a later time.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yep. So we're
I know
mainly
you're
on the
very
first
thorough.
two.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, so all of our questions that we need to answer are on the first 2 pages, and
Okay.
then the rest of it is something that we answer. We have to go back in and do an evaluation at the end of the summer reading program. And that's when we then, we'll submit like pictures and what we did and different things like that.
Thank you.
All right, any other comments, questions? We have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, there you go.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you guys.
Next, pay out water treatment plant demolition.
Mayor and Council, this is really just an invoice, but the water plant demolition is about 92% complete. Really, the only remaining stuff is dirt work, so recommend motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion there? All right, we'll do roll call. Welch.
Aye.
Doherty.
Aye.
Swear.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Mauer.
Aye.
All right, pay up is approved. Next is SDMSMA grant application.
Mayor and Council, I'm not going to try and repeat the acronym. These are 2 grants from the state municipal league, the street association. First one is for training for a couple of conferences that Brian has planned. Second one is to get some new software in our traffic signs by the school, speed signs. That software needs to be updated. It's already been ordered, so it's going to happen, but this is a way to offset that cost. Recommend a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion there? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, grant application's approved. Next is special assessment bond letter of engagement.
Mayor and Council, this is getting us ready for the Central Basin 4 project to cover the upfront costs of special assessments, so the costs that we would incur prior to receiving special assessment revenue. So this is a shift from our current capital improvement plan. The CIP depends on sales tax bonds for these, but through multiple conversations in the last, I'd say 5 to 6 months, we've come to the conclusion that these special assessment bonds are probably better for us because they, number one, don't increase your debt limit, which keeps those funds available for other uses, whether that's offsetting the cost of projects or future industrial projects, whatever it might be. So, based on resident and council concern for those increasing surcharges, this would free up those sales tax dollars to be used for that. So, recommending a shift here. We did talk to 2 companies, Toby Morris, who we've worked with several times, and Jerry Spethman over at D.A. Davidson. We used Jerry going back in the past, probably most recently 6-7 years ago. Was he on the bond? Pool bond? Yeah, so he might have been on the pool bond as well. Their fees are very similar, within $500 of each other, and interest rates will be very competitive as well. So Given our established relationship with Colliers and the work that Toby does for us otherwise, like I said, constant shoulder for me to depend on in terms of TIF and legislative items up in Peter, things happening at Department of Revenue, I think it makes sense for us to continue to use that, use Colliers. So recommend a motion to approve a placement agreement with Colliers. This is just a placement agreement. The final placement will come later on with bond counsel and all that. So.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve Colliers. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, since disagreement, we'll do all in favor. Any opposed? All right. Approved. Next is item F, resolution 2023-01, contingency transfer.
Thanks, Mayor. After paying a few of the last of the December bills in January, there was just a couple of departments that went over, general government and then the fire department with the heater that we purchased, and I miscalculated on that one, so that's my fault. Anyway, we still have money in contingency, and we can still do a contingency transfer, so I ask that you would approve that.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second, any discussion? All right, Swear.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Mauer. Aye. Doherty.
Aye.
Welch.
Aye.
All right, contingency transfer is approved. On to agreement with Big Iron Auctions.
Mayor and Council, you see in your packets under executive content some information here. We were asked to work with Big Iron Auctions to explore the possibility of an auction instead of closed bid process. And I think you should use that process, an auction process. It is much quicker. I think given the cost of doing the auction, it is minimal compared to the convenience of doing so, given the number of items we're trying to get rid of. So we have reviewed the agreement with the city attorney, recommend we move into executive session to discuss his communications.
Motion to enter exec.
Second. Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.